Okay. Let me see. Reddit is live. YouTube is live. Oh my god, this is so much shit. Okay, I need to pull this up to monitor. This up to oh my god, dude. Let's see. Let's hide this. Let's hide this. Going to need to resize all of this shit. I'm a professional, I promise. I should probably build myself an app that controls all aspects. Let multi-stream. Let's see. You put what the fuck, dude? Let's see. Put you here. No, not top chat. Stupid. Yo, YouTube, if you hear me, remove the top chat function. It is worthless. It is stupid. I don't even know why it's there. Put chat here. Like so. Yes. Almost. Just put this on my second monitor. Hide this. Okay. We are live. Everything is working as it should. Welcome to This Week in Comics with me, your host, Bolander. And we're gonna start off with the comics as we always do. And we start off with something that was enjoyable yet very disappointing. Because Batman Detective Comics is a weekly release and has been for like probably more than a month now. But they have a new artist. They've gone and done it again. They have a new bloody artist on the title, and I hate it when they do this, man. Why? I didn't even remember the guy's name. He's similar to Ivan Rice in style, but you can tell it's not him. It's not. It's stupid. I like where this is going so far, story-wise, with Psycho Pirate and all of that jazz. It's good. It's serviceable, but I hate the artist switch. If you're going to do a weekly release, make it work with that one artist. If Ivan Rice and Danny Mick are working together in such a manner that they allow for Danny Mick to be more of a finisher as well, so that Ivan Rice can keep churning out pages, I'm up for it. It's a serviceable comic. It's a lot of detective work, and since Batman isn't in Gotham, I don't have the gripe that he isn't in this book, or that he hasn't been in this book for quite a while. But here's my biggest gripe that's probably an industry issue, and not just a personal gripe. The guy who's doing the interiors doesn't have a cover out. It's just this one or two. They're both variant covers, like both covers A and B do not have the interior artist on them, and this is stupid because as a customer, if you look at this cover and go like, oh, is this like the main cover? Like, yeah, this is not a variant cover, this is the main cover. And you're like, oh, this is probably the artist inside, and you open it, and even if it is Ivan Rice, it ain't, and you feel deceived because this isn't what you were expecting. It's stupid. Stop doing this. Overall, Batman Detective Comics 1051 is okay. It's okay. I'm waiting to see how Tamaki finishes the story, because so far, all of her endings on each arc have been abysmal. Absolutely disgusting. But I'm hoping she has learned her lesson here, and I'm hoping a fucking editor's doing his goddamn job in reining her in and being like, hey, this is not a good finish, rewrite this stupid thing. Anyway, moving on to the next book, Monkey Prince, which I think was supposed to be out a lot earlier. But it's my boy Burning Chang on this, and it's basically a boy turning into Goku. The TLDR of it. The art's fantastic. It's Burning Chang. Batman's in this, but he looks to be an antagonist instead of a force for good. We still don't know what's going on because that's how the story works. It's just the first issue. It did take a while to start. It takes a bit too long to set up everything, which is like, hey, boy developed weird powers because he's Chinese, and we're, this is like a whole Chinese comic. Even on like the interior, when you open up the credits, they also have them in Chinese. I'm like, That's fucking weird. You've never done that. Why do that now? It's weird. Stop doing that. Stop pandering. Just put the credits like you normally would. Stop being stupid. But it's here's the thing though, not a lot of this whole first issue. I fucking hate how they write how they write issues. Since this is writing for the trade, the whole first issue is like 80%, probably even more, of just setup. Oh, this is setup. These are his powers. And of course, since he's a teenager who got bullied in school, the first thing he does is use his powers for bullshit, which is to get back at his bullies. Which you can understand that he's a dumb teenager who's been bullied, and of course, he is a Chinaman who loves the science. We can't have a fucking Asian character or like, whatever diversity quota character to be like a regular person who, I don't fucking know, like likes D&D or cars. Or there's a grease muck, they gotta love the science, they gotta be nerds. It's fucking. I hope this gets better because this is DC trying to set up a new comic. Yes, it's pandery, it's diversity quota. Everyone on this is Chinese or of Chinese descent. Very on the nose. But if it turns out to be a good character and a fun book, then more power to it. I will support it and I will promote it. I'll even have Bernie Chang on my podcast if he fucking agrees to it, to come talk about it. But so far, this first issue is very underwhelming, and it's probably mostly because it's writing for the trade. This was like, hey, write me a hyper. Also, I keep forgetting that phrase. Not expend. A hyper contracted story, like the good old comics of the 80s. Then this could have been way better. We could have gotten what we got in one issue. We could have gotten in like 5, let's say 7 pages, because Bernie is an art god, so he can do it in 7 pages. But I hope this does better because it looks to be a fun teenager action comedy, and I hope it goes there. Because the Monkey Prince is a goofy character. You should know this. You've seen Dragon Ball Z. You know Goku's a retard. Anyway, I can't in good faith recommend issue 1. I hope it gets better so I can recommend it. Or at least recommend it in trade form. Okay, moving on. Avengers Tycoon is probably my favorite recent Marvel book, excluding the Daniel Warren Johnson Thor book. It's not Thor, it's Better Ray Bill book, I'm sorry. That Daniel Warren Johnson Better Ray Bill book is amazing. It's what he's born to. Like, don't give him like Wonder Woman. The guy doesn't draw pretty women. It's not in his style. I'm sure he had the draftsmanship to do so, but it's not what he does. Just give him whatever you gave him with Better Rate Bill. Anyway, my other favorite Marvel book is Avengers Icon. It's goofy, it's stupid, it's lighthearted, but it's fun. It's entertaining. Jim Zub probably wrote himself into a corner with the ending of this. But it's basically, since the story is over, I can actually say everything. It's the Avengers fighting the Red Skull, who has infinity mirror shards of gems, like specks of them. And he has taken their powers away, and now they're forced to find another way to beat the Red Skull. And of course, Tony Stark is the man with the plan, and he gives everyone their mech armor. The designs are cool, but here's my problem with the art. It's very often very flat, or the gradients are too subtle to be noticed, even when reading them digitally. And since I have the backlighting of a screen, I should be able to tell the gradients, but I can't. And the line weights are way too thin. Like this is obviously done digitally, and I think they used like a 10 pixel brush. If they used what am I talking about? 10? It's probably a 7. If they used a 20 or 25, the art would have stood out better. And if they used more noticeable gradients, or better gradients, it would have been a lot better. Because I like the characterizations in this. Like, Jim Zub knows these characters. Like, Carol Danvers is actually drawn attractive, and she's not a total cunt. She's a military one. He's like, hey, get to the fucking point. We gotta win this. And at the end of this is where Jim Zub has probably written himself into a corner and did a massive ass pull with like, I'm not a Marvel guy, so he probably isn't the know, and it isn't an ass pull. But to me, the child is showing him and being like, the Infinity Stones are controlled by willpower, and my will to live is stronger than your will to kill me. And then of course he defeats him with basically the power of friendship. This is a mediocre manga basically. But it's still entertaining. I recommend this in trade format. If you want to buy something that's kind of goofy, kind of campy, but entertaining and lighthearted, and it's coming from a good place. It's coming from the place to have fun, which is the most important bit about comics and manga, about entertainment. You're here to get entertained. And this was entertaining. I enjoyed this. They used the Wolverine that's drawn here looks like the old Logan, and it borrows from Joe Mad Wolverine. So it's very entertaining. And at the end, Tony Stark shows off some proper hero characterization, which I haven't seen in fucking ages in an Iron Man comic, dude. Especially like the current Iron Man comic. I ain't touching that shit even if you guys pay me to. Anyway, this is a recommend in trade format. I would love to talk to James up, but he's a writer and I don't have hashtag just writers on my podcast. But I would love to talk to him and be like, hey, did you write your ass into a corner here? I don't think he's gonna spill the beans, but you know. You never know. Moving on. Next bit is Daredevil Woman Without Fear. I don't know why they went with this title. They could have just said Electro Woman Without Fear. It would have been better. But I enjoyed this. Very first page, you know, she straight up fucking. I can't show this. I mean, it's not done explicitly, just, you know, neck biting and back scratching and all that. Here's my issue with that. They keep saying that comics, American comics, are like, oh, they're for like a middle-aged audience that have money, and that's why they pay stupid amounts of money for comics. And yet they draw them like they're drawing them for like 12-year-olds. Like, are you gonna show the titty or not, stupid? Like, commit to the bit. Commit to your audience. But even if this was like for young kids, then yeah, sure, that works. But you keep saying that that's not your audience, but yet you treat them like they are. It's stupid. To the point. To the point of Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. It's good. It's trying to be this kind of Frank Miller, you know, Man Without Fear, Woman Without Fear. Actually, no, this is just how the Daredevil moniker is, isn't it? I'm not a Marvel guy. I don't know if you can tell, but this honors Elektra's relationship with Matt Murdock, and it's good. This is surprisingly very good. Zdarsky, when he's on point, when Zdarsky is on point, he's on fucking point. And this is good. This is a recommend. And I'd probably recommend it if you like buying issue per issue. This is good. This is good to be bought issue by issue. I'm someone who has to collect trades because I have limited space in my house. And I can't be buying a bunch of issues. So I'm definitely picking this up whenever it comes out in trade format. But this is good, man. Like, this is probably one of the best Marvel comics out right now. Avengers Tycoon just ended. And Woman Without Fear is fucking awesome. And it's not being promoted. I don't see this being promoted in any social media channel. It's a woman, it's a main character. Marvel, you like that pandering bullshit. Fucking promote it. It's a great book. Like, if you want to read a good book, this is it. There's plenty of action. Zdarsky allows the artist to go in on the action, where the artist always executes on the high level that this book demands, I'd say. Is a different thing, but I like this. I like this book. I recommend it. Hard, throbbing, very recommend. Moving on to the next item is fucking Noctero. Dude, I opened this, I flipped through it, I saw that Scott Snyder has yet to learn to not flood the pages with fucking weights. And I was like, you know, fuck this. I haven't read this ever since like issue 3, I think, because he just keeps doing the same fucking things, like setup and dialogue and captions, and I'm like, when are we gonna kill some monsters, dude? I can't recommend Doctor. If you're enjoying it, more power to you, but I fucking hate it. Sweet Paprika, on the other hand, is it's something that everybody should enjoy. It. This is American Buffalo doing her best, because she fucking loves this character. It's her character. It's her book. It's at Image. She's having fun. It's all horny and sexy. With this issue, what it was, the characters are kind of going on a break. Like the angel dude, I keep forgetting his name. Penguin. He's like, hey, this ain't working, so let's just be buddies. But it's good. If you like light-hearted, horny stories, this is the one for you. Sweet Paprika is like a very enjoyable book. It's a good read. Next item is Joe Kelly writing Spider-Man, not any sort of Spider-Man. It's a Savage Spider-Man. I thought this was a tie-in with whatever the fuck event Marvel is doing now, like the themed Heroes versus Heroes event that they always fucking do. Anyway, I thought this was a tie-in, but it isn't. I guess Joe Kelly just pitched a Savage Spider-Man book, and they were like, "Oh, this sounds good. You're Joe fucking Kelly. Let's go." The art's great. The art's fantastic, and it's Spider-Man being injected by Baron Zemo with some sort of experimental chemical to turn him into Savage Spider-Man. It's not the Spider-Man I remember from the cartoon. His lower half is like more. It has, you know, the whole spider torso and all that jazz instead of just having beastie legs. But anyway, this is good. The characterization of this Savage Spider-Man is great. The art's fantastic. Zemo, Zemo is almost my favorite character from this first issue. He's like, you know what? I don't beg. He gets into deep and he's like, you know what? Begging might work. You know what? Fuck that. Fuck begging. Yo, Spider-Man, you gotta get your shit together or I'll blow your head off. It was entertaining. It was great. It's a great first issue. Like, this is how you start a first issue. Not with setup. Oh, this is ready for the trade. They're gonna buy all 6 issues anyway because they're stupid. They're gonna buy the trade. So we're just gonna waste the whole fucking issue with setup. No. You start off and you're deep in action. Spider-Man is busting skulls open. And it's good. I can't believe I'm saying this about a Marvel book again. It's like the 3rd Marvel book that I've liked this week. And it's good. And I recommend it with like a single issue format. Because Joe Kelly knows this fucking shit. Next bit is Transformers Kim Grimlock. This is the end of the story arc and it was enjoyable. I just randomly saw this. I'm like, you know what? It's Grimlock, and I've seen Jobby the Hung's review videos of toys, and the Grimlock on there, the Cybertron Grimlock, looks fucking cool. I'm like, I'll check it out. The art is an indie art style, which means it's a bit rough. At places, in some places, a bit too rough. I think the line art is fine, but I think the colors aren't up to par, and it's what lets the art style down at a few moments. But this is a very enjoyable story. Grimlock saves the planet. He does the hero thing. He just doesn't go all out like fucking madman. He does the thing Optimus Prime has told him, be like, hey, show some mercy, be a hero. And it's very enjoyable. I recommend this in trade format because it's already out. It's by IDW, so the trade won't be like fucking DC do. They're like, oh, issue 6 is out. The trade's gonna come out when issue 12 is out. I'm like, why would you fuck yourself out of money? Why would you brush money away off the table? It's stupid. But I reckon the trade for this is going to be out soon. It was very enjoyable. And if you like supporting indie comics, if you like Transformers, this is a good Transformers book. I enjoyed it. And I'm not a big Transformers follower nor a fan. I'd like to get a couple of toys because they're cool, especially the 3rd-party Grimlock from Jobby the Hong's video. But otherwise, he might be in the deep state of Transformers and think this is dog shit. And if it is, please tell me. I'd like to be corrected, so I don't just live in a lie. Next item is Batman. And it's good. The story is good. I hate that they use multiple artists. Like, what the fuck are you trying to redeem Mikhail Khanin from his run with Tom King? Because it's going to take Mikhail Khanin actually drawing and not tracing 3D models in order for him to redeem himself. But he does do more drawing here, or at least he renders artistically over his 3D models. But I hate it. Let Molina do his magic. This is fucking stupid. I hate that they're doing this. They're also tacking on like this extra backup story so they can squeeze an extra $1 out of you for like a single issue. I'm like, no, dude. This ain't the way. I should have. I'm a professional and I forgot to get water. So I can't do the probably decade old Puck Scream of Batman. But the story was enjoyable. Joshua Williamson is probably my favorite newcomer when it comes to writers, and the guy's knocking out of the park. The twist at the end of this issue is fantastic. This is great, and I can recommend it in a issue by issue basis because Joshua Williamson, while he sometimes falls into the trap of writing for the trade, hasn't done it so far. This is fucking good. Molina is a fucking fantastic artist, and I recommend this. It's a hard, throbbing, veiny. This is the way. Recommend. Howdy, Magdami. This is the way to do comics. Like if there is a way to save comics, this is how his costume looks like. The new movie outfit. I don't think so. This looks like a more old school Batman costume because the new one is very leather patchy. It looks like it got pulled from the video games, from the Arkham video games, and it got edited. But the one in here is like just leather upon leather. I like it. My most favorite part about this costume that Molina is using is that he brought back the yellow pill bat logo. I fucking love this. I don't know if it's because I grew up with it or something, but I just like it. And if you fall back into the theory of why Robin is bright colors because he makes himself a target, the yellow pill, you could say it's also like a target because, you know, he's all gray and black and you get this yellow bit in his chest, and if you're like a dumb criminal, you're like, oh, I'm just aiming for his chest, herder. And, you know, he's wearing Kevlar. Dude, White Knight is fucking amazing. I'm not a fan of the second installment. It feels like in the second White Knight, Sean Gordon Murphy was like dealing with guilt of success in a hemorrhaging industry, and it felt weird. It felt off. But the first one is fucking stellar. Sean Gordon Murphy is a stellar storyteller, and I think I'd rather get the black and white edition, even if it is in French. What's your favorite costume? I like the 2016 Batman v Superman costume. I don't remember that. I'm not a big fan of movie costumes because they tend to lean more practical, and they saw Marvel use this diamond textile texture on their suit, so everyone's doing it now. I like the Batman the Animated Series as well. I like that it's basic. It's in comic side. It's easy to draw, and it's probably because I grew up with it and I've seen it the most. But I'm just gonna say that Batman the Animated Series Batman costume is my fucking favorite. The second one is the one where he still has the yellow pill, but the cowl and the gloves are like this blue, light blue thing. But Batman 120 is a fucking success. I don't care for the backup story. I flipped through it. It's not for me, and I don't like being fleeced out of my money with this type of method. It's fucking stupid. If you want to bring up rookie artists, don't do it like this. It's stupid because people aren't here for them. They're here for fucking Molina being an art god, and Joshua Williamson finally doing some proper Batman. Next on our bit is, oh my god, dude. Oh, this got me legit, man. This is Spider-Man. They're still doing that thing where there's an Elseworlds called Brotherhood of the Bat. I am not familiar with that. I'm gonna have to check that out. Does it have cool costumes? Because if it does, that's the way to get me. What about the Frank Miller costume? Batman looks yonk like a unit in those. What did Frank Miller's costume look like? I have to read a lot of the old stuff, and Batman has so many suits. But Frank Miller, fucking guy. So I'm sure that was his the one that's like mostly black, or is that just year one? I'm gonna have to look into this. Actually, I'm a professional. I use the internet. I can just look at this. We can just look it up. Brotherhood of the Bats. Oh, the bat. I'm sorry. I can't even spell. Let's see. Images. Oh, this looks like it's from the 90s. Okay, this looks cool, at the very least. I can check this out later. Are you talking about the Frank Miller Return to the Dark Knight costume? Because that's a good costume. It plays off of the original one. It's just, you know, the bat symbol is different. But yeah, he is built like a fucking unit in that one. Who benches 1,000 pounds? Just stocky. Yeah, if it's the Return of the Dark Knight, of course I know that. I have them right here. I have the trades right here. But yeah, I like a built like a brick shit house Batman. Because in human terms, yeah, that makes sense. Superman doesn't need to be bulky because he's Superman, he's the superpower. So we draw him beefy because, you know, that's visually pleasing and this is a visual medium. But for Batman to be built like an absolute unit, it makes even more sense. Yeah, he's built huge. I looked it up. His calves are probably the size of someone's torso. Yeah, Frank Miller. Return of the Dark Knight fucked up so many new writers. Just the same way that Watchmen did. They're like, oh, I'm going to do my take. You know, this is my Return of the Dark Knight or my Watchmen. I'm like, no, stupid. Just do an entertaining story. You don't have to be a cheap copy of a god. That's a tall task for anyone. Just do the best you. Anyway, on topic. This is Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man. This is the main book. This is page 1. And this is the reason why I pulled it instead of the cover. Because I saw this page and I got mad. I got pissed. They're still doing the thing that each week is like a different writer, it's a different artist, and it's fucking retarded. And you open up Spider-Man, you see this short-haired, pink-haired boy, and you're like, oh my fucking god, dude. The art is atrocious. And you open the first page, and you see so much dialogue, and I flip through the next page, and it's like dialogue, flooding the page across the other side. I'm like, fuck no. I'm just gonna get this to roast it. My favorite movie Batman, oh god, I think it's Batfleck. In regards to costume and build, it's Batfleck. Just, you know, if you pull Batman out of the movie. But my favorite Batman movies are going to be the old ones, like not the Christopher Nolan's. I'm bad with names. The other ones, the dark gothic Batman. I enjoyed those more because Christopher Nolan fucked it up with the third Batman movie. They did animated version of Frank Miller twice. Once he's a RoboCop guy, and the TV version uses Michael freaking Ironside. I think I watched the whatchamacallit, the movie adaptations of Dark Knight Returns. They were good, but I'm not enjoying what DC's been doing for the past, I think, 2 years with their movie adaptations. They're using their same style. They're not doing anything to improve on it, and I get it, it's good enough, but sometimes good enough is not good enough. I don't trust any pale lady in a white suit that screams wicked and the divine. I've never read that one. I think I flipped through a couple of issues and I'm like, not for me. If people enjoy it, more power to them. It's just not for me. But this Spider-Man book is, oh my god, it's so stupid. Can you just show Spider-Man flying through New York, beating up criminals, using the webs, and then going back to his wife and just webbing her up? Because old old Spider-Man was horny as hell. Like they'd be fucking every issue. And now we're lucky to see Mary Jane climb on top of him. It's stupid. Like, of course they're gonna reboot it again with another #1 because that's how Marvel does things now. It's fucking stupid. Like, I hope you're not reading this, Spider-Man. I don't recommend this. Or if you buy this, just burn it ritually. I don't know. Cut it up. Next up is a comic I am very biased towards. Because this is Spawn. This is like the main book. And Barbarelli, this is Barbarelli, the artist's name. I keep fucking messing it up. Can draw Mad Hunt. Like, this son of a bitch can draw Mad Hunt. I almost want him to get taken off of Spawn and be put on a Haunt book. Because this is fucking fantastic. But here's my issue. Well, I will always recommend Spawn because it's my favorite comic book character. And like I said, I'm very biased, so take this with a grain of salt. But I do have some gripes with this book. It comes to a grinding, screeching halt whenever the action ends. Does he shoot webs from any other part of his body? Spider-Man, he probably does. I mean, wasn't there this storyline where his sperm is radioactive, so he killed Mary Jane with it? That'll teach her to not take every cum shot in the face. This looks messy. I think it's because of the format, but when you open the actual book, it doesn't look too messy. It looks fucking. To me, this is awesome because this is a lot of action. It's very dynamic. It's energetic. What is messy in this book is the writing, because Spawn is very high on trust issues, and he kicked out Jessica and, oh my god, I forget the nerd guy's name. He kicked them out because there was some fuckery going on with the Spawn helmet of medieval Spawn. He's like, you know what, you two being weird, just get the fuck out. But he meets this guy for the first time. They're like, oh, we've seen each other when we were like in the military for like 5 minutes. He's like, you know what? You're weird. You killed my Mark. You're looking for the same guy I'm looking for. I'm gonna bring you to my secret base. And I'm like, hold on a fucking minute here. Mr. Trust Issues just meets someone like within the next hour. He's like, you know what? Let's go to my secret base. Again, this isn't Todd writing. This is Rory someone. But where's your fucking editor, Todd? Like, that was poor. The rest was okay. The main Spawn book has a lot of talking and setup, which I don't like. If this is the main book, this has to be the best book. It's been a while since I read Spawn. Issues 298, I think, is where he does like a 2 or 3 issue recap. And you can start off from there, so you can basically read everything from 300 till now. It's on the upswing. It was kind of before that, but now it's been on the upswing since he got all the influx of interest. But the best Spawn book right now is actually Gunslinger Spawn. It's 3 or 4 issues in, or 5. It's being drawn by Brett Booth, who is an absolute legend. He's one of my favorite artists. Again, keep this in mind, I'm very biased towards Spawn. But if you want to just pick up and read a Spawn book, Gunslinger doesn't require you to read anything else. You can just get in raw and enjoy it because it's fucking awesome. You can tell that Todd and Brett are having fun with it. It is fantastic. But this Spawn book it's okay. I love the art. The story has issues, the writing has issues. But I still recommend it because if there is one comic book that I always recommend, it's this. This is the only book I'll always buy and read religiously, regardless of how bad it gets. Even during the Jim Downing era, where we had, what was the Polish guy's name who traced photos? I keep forgetting his name. Even when we had that, I read Spawn. I should have gotten water. My throat's starting to dry up. Next bit, we're moving into the manga, and we have here Ayashimon. I couldn't find a proper cover for it, so this is off of the Weekly Jump cover. It's fun. After, I think, Jujutsu Kaisen, we've had this influx of physically overpowered main characters in manga. We have Doran Doraron, we have Ayashimon, we have, I think there was another new one that had similar traits of the character. He just has retard strength. But for the uninitiated, Ayashimon is basically monster Yakuza. The Yakuza, but they're like demons or Oni, or in this book they're called Ayashimon. They transform, they have like ritualistic battles in a circle. It's fun. It's almost like a kaiju fight manga without it being kaiju, it's just demons. But it's extremely fun. This issue, we saw a little bit of our main girl here's secrets and how that she wasn't necessarily abandoned, but she was hidden away. But I'm still holding off on having this as a hard recommend because I want to see more. Because so far it's just main guy's physically strong and beats everyone up until now. So the upcoming weeks is going to be the make or break it for this book. I love Hard Boiled. There was a guy named Joff Darrow. Why does that name sound familiar? I don't think I'm familiar with Hard Boiled. It's all similar names. They sound familiar. I've heard them before. I'm just not in the know. But Ayashimon, here's the good thing about Shonen Jump manga specifically. Wait, why is this playing? Why are you playing? Why are you playing Sabotage? This is how I get yeeted off of YouTube. I don't think that will yeet me off for playing Sabotage, but YouTube fucking will. The good thing about Shonen Jump manga is that you have the Shonen Jump app, and you can read this for fucking free. Which is very little commitment for something that can be read in 10 minutes. So I'm waiting for the next few weeks to see how this develops, because a few first issues it was like, oh, the guy is just super physically strong, he beats up everyone. He just built different. But at the very least, this is entertaining, it's made to be fun, and the art is good. Our next bit is probably, no, not probably, this is for sure my most favorite new manga, which is Dan. I think he did Shaolin Cowboy. Okay, that I've never heard. Let's see, let's open up a tab. Oh, it has a reading order. Okay, I've never seen this before. Okay, I have the tab here, so I check it out later. Now, Dan is the fucking bomb. The art is fantastic. The guy will often lean into that old school pinning hatching style, especially when there's a lot of speed and energy, and it just jerks me off so good. I'm an artist, so I read mostly for the art. The story is extremely entertaining. Think high school supernatural, but not with just monsters, but also aliens. The main girl is adorable as hell. The main guy is your typical nerd quiz. He's coming into himself. He's growing as a character, as being more, more confident, and he doesn't go whenever a girl walks up to him, which I fucking hate about showing the main characters. But in this issue, he turns into his, granny ghost self, and he literally yeets Momo with a chair away from danger, and she's trying to find a way to throw a rope towards him, but she can't because they're like, I don't know, fucking a kilometer underground. But he yeets her off to safety and remains to fight not just our transformed new buddy, but also the giant ass worm. Overall, if you don't read manga, if you've never read manga, and you're like, you know what, I want to get into some manga, I want something that doesn't have a lot of reading behind it, something that I can dive in without having to buy like 500 volumes or whatever, you get this. Like Gantz, Berserk, and I'm Hero. Berserk though, I was exhausted just from reading the battle scenes. Yeah, I can see that because fucking Kentaro Miura, rest in fucking peace, put in so much work. Why are you playing fucking Sabaton? YouTube is fucking stupid nowadays. Stay in the damn playlist. I love Sabaton, but YouTube hates me for playing it, even though I did get permission from Sabaton themselves to play their music on my channel. Anyway, Kitaro put in a lot of work, a lot of little ink down on every page, so just looking at the fight scenes, it's a lot to look at. And I've read the last chapter of Berserk, and man, I bring myself almost tears every time I think about Berserk and how we just lost probably the greatest comic ever. But against Berserk, I haven't looked at I'm Hero. I think I've heard of it, but I'm not. Let me open up another tab to check it out later. But if you're someone, again, who hasn't read manga and would like something that's a bit more lighthearted, because Berserk, I can understand being difficult to swallow for a lot of people because it starts off with some monster bagging. There's plenty of rape in it, and it's a more serious manga. But if you want something that's pure fun, lighthearted, funny, Dan is fucking awesome. I'll always wave the Dan flag. It is amazing. It is my favorite newcomer in regards to manga. Next we have Diamond in the Rough, and I wish they put out more frequent illustrations that I can use as a cover. It looks like the Diamond in the Rough is going to be one of those one-story manga. It's going to be like, oh, it's just one volume and we're done. It's like a shorter story, which I'm not against. I just would love to enjoy more of these characters, and especially the art. This new guy, I don't know if he's new. It's just, it's a new manga, so that's what I call him. This guy also loves the old pen and ink hatching style, and whenever he renders rocks, and oh, when he renders this guy fire effect on his sword, it's fucking amazing. In our current issue, our main boy here, the guy on the right, why do I keep forgetting his name? The guy with the robe and like the white long hair, his name? Oh, Kai. The kid's name is Kai. He succeeds in his test and can now command his red diamond more efficiently, more effectively, just more in general. And it culminates into a fantastic fight. And this fucking guy in his art, it just carries it further. He goes even whenever an action scene is upon us, or he has to like just flex on you with his rendering, he just goes, and this is to go even further beyond. This is an absolute, don't mind the pun, diamond in the rough. This is a gem of a manga, and if it turns out to be a one-volume manga, I would only be mildly disappointed, just because I would love to read more, or at least enjoy more of this guy's art. Again, if you have the Shonen Jump app, or I think it's called Manga Plus for like the Europeans and whatnot, this is up there for free. And if you want to read everything, because I think they do the first 3 are free, and then you jump forward, whatever's in between is like logged behind their $2.50 a month paywall. The massive paywall that is Shonen Jump that gives you their entire catalog. That's all of One Piece. That's all of everything by Shonen Jump for $2.50 a month. But this book is an absolute recommend. I fucking love this book. It can get heavy on dialogue because it has a very specific not magical order, but power system that's based on gemstones and their abilities and their properties, and how everyone can command them differently, and how everyone has like a guiding force and yada. It can get talkative while it's explaining the power system. I think it can be done shorter, but I don't know necessarily how. If you can swallow those bits, and they're like few and far between, they're not too heavy. I'm pretty sure most people enjoy this manga. Another newcomer who falls into the built different main character is Doran Doraron. I don't know what we have. Dorohedoro. We have, was it Durarara? Now we have Doran Doraron. I don't know what's up with these names, my man, but it is what it is. The main guy here decides that it's finally time to power up and unlock his spiritual pressure, so he can finally fight the monsters. Because in order to be a samurai here, the people who fight the monsters in this book, you gotta have spiritual pressure, whatever I keep forgetting what's it called in the manga itself, but the equivalent of spiritual powers. And our guy doesn't have them, but he has retard strength, just like Yuji does, and just like the guy from Ayashimon does. But in this big fight against the monster who killed his mom, he finally unlocks that. It's enjoyable. I don't want to call it mediocre because it sounds like an insult, but it's a serviceable mid-tier manga that can entertain you if you're looking for something to read. Like, you read everything you have for this week and you're like, you know what? I want to dip my toes in a little bit more. I want something else to read while I'm on the toilet. This is going to be a good read. And I think, we have 2 more. Okay, I thought we were at our last bit. No, we have this and one more. This is, let's see if I can pronounce this properly, because the name is a bit twisted. Megalumie Co-Limited. This is a shonen about magical girls, as you can see here, that has become sort of like a business. Like, You get in, you get certified, you get trained. You're a magical girl that kills monsters. A very digitized magical girl though, because it's like magical girl Ghostbusters but digitized and Japanized. Because whenever they capture monster, they stick them in USB flash drives, which is unusual to begin with. But yard's good. The action is great. Just started this week, so it is available for free on the Shonen Jump app. And it also starts off with 2 chapters that are like 70 pages each. So this is the equivalent of like 6 usual chapters. You know, chapters are usually like 20 years pages. So this starts off with like 100 plus pages. And it's good. It's entertaining. It requires very little investment because, like I just said, it's free on the Shonen Jump app. If it's not for you, like 3 or 4 issues in, you can just drop it, and that's it. But so far, I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm enjoying the art. The main characters are both girls. They're cute. The designs are fun. So I'm hoping this at the very least entertaining enough so that I can recommend it whenever the Tankamo comes out, which is going to be a while because those are usually 240-ish pages, which means 10 chapters, and we have 2 so far. It's going to be another 2 months until I can stomp my foot down and be like, "Aye, Mega Lumiere Cold Limited, buy that shit." But so far, it's free. It's entertaining enough. Say meow. Wouldn't you prefer if I said, "Ara ara"? My throat is getting hoarse. And I can't do proper sound effects. I am a professional who forgot to bring water for his stream. I promise to do better next time. I should probably learn the Nyaname no Nyaname bit from Monogatari. Anyway, this is our last bit, which, unless you've been living under a rock, this is Shonen Jump's next big thing in regards to manga, and this is Kaiju number 8. This is literally a kaiju fight battle manga. It does what it says on the tin. Our main guy turns into a monster, but people are using special suits and weapons to fight monsters. It's it. It's fucking awesome. When there's a lot of fighting, the manga reads super quick. I'm talking like 5 minutes per chapter, and that's if you stop to enjoy the art. If you're since I'm an artist, I spend more time looking at the art, but I reckon for like a regular Joe Schmo who just reads it, quote unquote, as a whole, to enjoy the story holistically, this is a 5-minute read when it gets into the fight scenes. But it is a recommend. Does it do anything, quote unquote, deep or too fancy with the story? No. It's simple enough that you can just pick it up and just read about monsters beating the shit out of each other. It is very fun. It's very entertaining. I recommend this. I just got notified by Amazon that the first volume is finally coming in, at least, for the West, for Europe in my case. And it was delayed. It was supposed to come out in, I think, November of last year, or October. And it's coming out like mid-February, in like a few weeks. I don't know if this is the quote-unquote dreaded paper shortage, which I'm still to believe in fully, or just translation issues, or other issues. But I'm excited to finally get this. This is an absolute recommend. If you have the Shonen Jump app, you should be reading this. If not, it's $2.50 a month, and you can read everything. You can literally catch up on One Piece for $2.50 a fucking month. And just not One Piece. Naruto and all that shit. But this is going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and upvote on Reddit. I'll see you guys next week when we're going to discuss what we read, what we loved, what we hated in comics and manga. I have been Bolander, your humble host, and I will see you guys next week. Arrivederci.